Welcome back. We are your Emerald Coast relocation team, and I don't know about you guys, but when I first moved into this area, I got a little confused about kind of what is the Emerald Coast, what's the Panhandle, all of that. So today we're going to be taking it to the map to show you exactly what the Florida Panhandle includes.
All right, let's go.
All right, I'm not going to lie, I kind of feel like the weather lady.
No, you're all over the place.
Is it my posture?
What is that?
A warning for fog.
Oh, that's a warning for fog.
Triangle.
All right. Be careful of the fog.
Totally geeked out on this for you guys because when we first moved to Florida, I was a little confused about the whole Emerald Coast versus Panhandle and all of that. So I broke it down into a bunch of different things. The first thing is going to be regions. I want you to understand exactly where the Panhandle is. I'm not going to lie, I always get confused on the little inlets on where we actually are. So this is what we're going to be talking about. This right here is the Panhandle. This is going to be North Florida here. This is Central Florida and South Florida. Do I think that there's more ways to categorize Florida and all of that? Yes, but for today's purposes, I wanted to show you where we're going to be talking about, and it's actually all of this area. This is why I think it was really hard for me to understand what was all included in the Florida Panhandle because it is so large. So we're gonna kind of break it down into different counties versus cities because counties is a lot more clear versus all the different cities that the Panhandle actually includes. Number one, I know there's a mistake here. Whoever made this visual, it says Sarasota. It's supposed to be Santa Rosa, so bear with me on that. However, finding all of this information was extremely hard, which is why I wanted to compile this information for you. But instead of talking about all 16 counties, I decided to break it into the top 5 counties based on population. The first and the highest population county is going to be Escambia, which is number 1. This is going to be kind of that Pensacola area. What it's known for is that Escambia County. The second one is Leon County, which is actually all the way over on 14 and not considered the Emerald Coast. The third largest county is going to be Okaloosa County. That's going to be kind of your Fort Walton area, also over into the Destin area. The fourth county is going to be Santa Rosa. That's the number 2 here. That's going to be your Milton, your Pace, it's going to be Gulf Breeze, kind of where we are. So this is Tallahassee's around here, and then Leon's up there. So just to kind of give you an idea that this is the largest county over on this area of town. Otherwise, the other 3 large counties are going to be on this side following the Emerald Coast. Now, stick around till the end because I am going to give you, based off of these counties and the population, I'm going to be giving you at the very end the county that is growing the most over the last 12 months, so last year, so that you can kind of see which is the most desirable area in the Florida Panhandle. Now, the other really important thing to understand when you are moving into the Florida Panhandle, which is more most people move over to Florida, is those beautiful beaches. Peter and I looked up so many different things, and of course we have our own strong opinions about the beaches, but one of the things that we wanted to look at is what other people were viewing these beaches as or how they were rating them so you can get an overall view and not just our opinion. We looked at gettingstamp.com. We thought was the most encompassing when looking at ratings for these beaches. This was the 10 top best beaches in the Florida Panhandle specifically. So we're not talking about all of Florida, but we're talking about Florida Panhandle specifically. They rated Pensacola Beach as number 1. There were other places that had Pensacola Beach not in the top 5, and I'm telling you, I couldn't even take that seriously because moving here, we have a house down in South Florida, right outside Clearwater Beach. Pensacola Beach is a hidden jewel. That's why a lot of people here do not want you to find Pensacola Beach because it is absolutely stunning. So when Getting Stamped had it rated as top 1, we didn't think it would rate that high, to be honest, but we did love the fact that it was finally over Destin, which we'll talk about in just a second. The second beach that was rated in the top 10 is going to be Perdido Key. Perdido Key is all the way right here, almost to the Alabama border, like right past that is going to be Alabama. This is going to be a little bit more of a local, quieter beach, but it is very beautiful, and we're starting to see development kind of in the $1 million home area, like the custom homes. I'm a little confused as to why Perdido Key got the highest rating, because when we went over there, we're like, well, it's great, but it doesn't have like the same vibe as, say, Pensacola Beach, where you have the restaurants and kind of liveliness. However, if you are moving to the Emerald Coast and you're looking for that quiet, kind of more residential beach, Perdido Key is definitely it, and it made number 2. The third beach is going to be Crystal Beach. I have to be honest with you, we have yet to beat a Crystal Beach, but it is ranking on a lot of the different top beaches articles that we've been looking at. It is typically rating in in the top 10. So it's going to have to be on our next agenda to go down to Crystal Beach, but Crystal Beach is definitely going to be on our agenda. The fourth beach is going to be Panama City Beach. We all know that with so everything from Destin came from Panama City. So apparently we learned from all the locals that Panama City was like the place to go. That's where it all started. Then it started to go outward. So it's going to go towards Rosemary and it's going to go towards Destin, and that all became hyper concentrated where everyone wanted to go if they were coming to the Panhandle. So it all stemmed from Panama City, which makes sense of why it would reach the top 4. Don't worry, we are going to talk about Destin, but it did not make the top 5, so we'll have to talk about that in a second. The 5th and final top beach is going to be Grayson Beach. Again, another one that we have yet to experience. So what we'll probably end up doing is redoing this kind of beach video for you guys. So if you want to follow along, hit that subscribe button, notification bell, and give us a thumbs up, because we're going to be exploring some of these areas that we have not seen before, and we will give you our honest opinion. Now, I'm probably getting some darts out there as to why have I not mentioned the infamous Destin Beach. Now, Destin did make the top 10. I'm just covering the top 5 so that you guys know, since we're kind of on this top 5 thing. Destin, Navarre, and Fort Walton all did make the top 10. They just were not in the top 5. Destin does not have a lot of public access to it. That could be one of the reasons why people didn't like it as much. Navarre Beach is still highly residential, not a lot of restaurants and things like that. And then Fort Walton Beach, again, is a smaller, more residential area. This could be why a lot of people chose some of the other beaches over them. Destin is also one of the places that most people visit tourism when they are coming to the Florida Panhandle. Some of these other beaches you're going to see a lot of mixture between tourism and, say, you know, all of your locals, which I think gives it a little bit better of a vibe versus just having the touristy thing all the time for the people who live there. All right, I would not be doing my job to all the families out there if I didn't talk about schools. Schools is one of the main reasons that Peter and I chose to come live up in the Emerald Coast, so I did break it down by county for you since we're talking specifically about counties today. Escambia, which again, reminder, is going to be number 1. That's going to be your main Pensacola area. Escambia is rated a B-. If we go over to Leon, all the way over here, it's going to be an A-. Santa Rosa over 2 is going to be a B+. Again, let me give you a little disclaimer first. Everything that we use for the schools is going to be on niche.com. Niche.com does do it by county, or it will also go into different cities and things like that. If you go by the county and the district, see how long these counties are? It covers a lot of different cities. So when you are going to, say, the county or niche.com and you go to the county or the district, you're going to go down to the maps area. You're then going to scroll down to different cities, because the number 2 is Santa Rosa. Gulf Breeze is going to be down here. We're going to have Pace and Milton. They're going to be different school ratings. Even though Santa Rosa as a whole is B+, we have a lot of A-graded schools in the bottom of Santa Rosa. Now, if you come over to Okaloosa, it is A- overall, which is crazy because it has a lot of options for schools. So that's going to include Fort Walton, Destin, Niceville, those types of cities. Again, you can break it down, but there are a lot of A options in there, giving the overall rating an A-. And then the county, Bay County, that is the last one based off population, that is rated a B. So again, B and A ratings for all of these different counties that have the highest population in the Florida Panhandle. All right, when we were looking at moving to Florida in 2020, the main driving factor of why we didn't jump on it then was the schools. We have a property, gosh, if you were looking at the map, I guess it would be somewhere down here, over into right outside Clearwater. And when we were looking at the school system, a lot of the school systems were C's or, you know, somewhere around there, and we were going to still have to be paying for public school or private school. We then found the Florida Panhandle that has some of the top rated schools in Florida, unless you're looking into some of the areas in Sarasota, down south, and that was one of the driving factors. We see a lot of families relocate because of the school system in the Florida Panhandle. We also took on that trend. We do not regret it. We've been super, super happy, and our kids are in public school, so we're saving about $800 to $1,600. It was $800 a kid on private school in Colorado as to public school here for free. And on top of that, Florida also pays for the VPK program, which is preschool for 4-year-olds. It is a state-funded program for 4-year-olds to be able to do kind of that preschool level before even going into elementary. This is a huge deal, guys. My daughter is learning Spanish in preschool. Back in Colorado, we were having to do preschool at home because they were really just going as like a glorified daycare, which probably getting darts from my Colorado people. However, here they are learning how to spell their names, ABCs. They're doing all kinds of like almost, I would say, kindergarten level teaching in preschool here, and it's paid for. All right, if you stuck around this long, I promised you that I would tell you the county that is growing the most, because I do think that has something to say about what's the most popular in, say, this Florida Panhandle area. All right, I'm gonna get out my notes here because I can't remember all these numbers for you guys, but the #1 county that is growing over the last 12 months is going to be Walton County. So that is going to be here. This Walton County, which we actually haven't talked about, is going to be a bunch of cities that maybe you haven't heard of when looking at the Florida Panhandle. I myself had to look them up because we spend a lot of our time kind of in the Okaloosa and over, especially in the Emerald Coast. This is going to be your Phoenix Springs, the Santa Rosa Beach. It's going to be Freeport, Miramar Beach, and Paxton. So those are going to be the cities that are included in Walton County. Now, what is the growth? Walton had a 2.55% year-over-year growth, and this blew all of the other counties out of the water. So it's not even one of the largest counties, but it is one that has seen the largest growth. A lot of the other ones, so the second one was Santa Rosa, which is going to be here. It was a 1.88%, and then we had Okaloosa, which is right here, and a 1.42%. So out of all of the Florida Panhandle, majority of the growth has happened between here and here. Now this is pretty much going to be Pensacola Beach all the way over to about Miramar Beach. So that's going to be the main ones of Emerald Coast as well, which could be a driving factor. But the other counties were not anywhere close to these numbers. You're seeing things almost about 0.7 and below, and then even negative in a lot of the counties here, which I thought was pretty crazy as telling where people are moving into the Florida Panhandle. It is very evident it's between 2 and 4. All right, I hope this is helpful. I learned so much for you guys learning this video. Yes, I geeked out. Kind of feel a little bit like a weather woman here, but if you like these informational videos where we are showing you a little bit about what makes up the Florida Panhandle versus the Emerald Coast, we are your local specialists here, and we have the top relocation team in the Emerald Coast. So if you like this video, hit that subscribe button to follow along. Give us a thumbs up if you like the style of the video that we just did, and then also hit that notification bell so you're notified every single time we put out a new video. Also, if you are looking to purchase real estate here in the beautiful free state of Florida, please go ahead and call that number. You can call, text us, however you need. Peter and I are answering every single phone call. And until next time, we love you.